Hey everyone, and welcome to Gender Decoded Your go to space for diving deep into the fascinating ways gender shows up in everyday life, science, and the hidden corners of our behavior. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're on a walk, sitting at your desk, or zoning out on your couch, thanks for spending the next 25 minutes with me. We're going to unpack a study that's got some eyebrow-raising findings about distraction, sex, and how our brains tick a little differently depending on gender. Buckle in, it's going to be a wild ride. So here's what we're diving into today. Imagine you're trying to do a simple task, like deciding whether two lines are tilted in the same direction. Pretty basic, right? Now, imagine while you're doing this, an image of a naked couple appears on the screen. Do you stay focused, or do you get thrown off just a little? And does your answer depend on whether you're a man or a woman? Today, we're going to explore just that, how sexual images, even when irrelevant to the task, can hijack your brain's attention. The kicker? Men and women don't respond the same way. This episode is based on a detailed scientific study that conducted 2 experiments to figure out whether men are more distracted by sexual images than women. It's all about automatic attention, sexual content-induced delay, and the invisible tug-of-war between desire and focus.
Welcome to Gender Decoded, where numbers align, seeing the stories that data defines, breaking the barriers, truth untold, insights in gender, the data unfolds.
Let's set the stage with a bit of background. Scientists have long known that emotional or motivational stimuli, like a snake slithering towards you or someone laughing, tend to grab our attention fast and hard. This is often called attentional capture. But it's not just negative or scary things that do it. Positive and arousing things like sexual images also pull attention in a big way. This leads us to something researchers call SCID, or sexual content-induced delay. It basically means that when we see something sexually charged, our brain hesitates. It's like it pauses to process the image whether we want it to or not. Historically, men have been thought to be more visually driven when it comes to sexual attraction, and more motivated by sexual stimuli in general. But until recently, the data on whether that really results in stronger distractions in tasks like these has been mixed. Some studies even showed women getting more distracted than men, especially when the sexual content felt taboo or shocking. So researchers decided to really put this to the test. Now let's talk about what the researchers did. 2 experiments were conducted at Cardiff University in the UK with young adult volunteers. In Experiment 1, 43 participants, 21 men and 22 women, were asked to perform a simple visual task, compare 2 lines, and decide if they had the same angle. Easy enough, right? But there's a catch. Each task was presented alongside a distractor image right in the center, either neutral like objects or people doing regular things, or sexual like nude or semi-nude males, females, or couples. Participants were told to ignore the image and focus only on the lines. But here's the trick. They couldn't really ignore the images, and that's exactly what the researchers were measuring, how much slower they got when sexy images appeared. So what did they find? In short, distraction happened across the board, but men were hit harder. For all participants, sexual images led to slower reaction times classic SCID effect. But when looking specifically at the couple's image, which depicted heterosexual intimacy, men showed a much bigger delay than women. The average delay for men was 53 milliseconds, while women only showed a 26 millisecond delay. That's a significant difference. Not only that, but men also had a wider range of responses. Some were very distracted, others not much, showing more variability than women. This wasn't just about average distraction. Men's brains were more likely to be completely hijacked by the images. Now let's go deeper into what these charts tell us. In panel A of the first image, we see the raw reaction times for each image category. Men were consistently slower than women, especially when viewing sexual content. In panel B, we see the actual distraction effect, how much slower each person got compared to neutral images. The couple images stood out dramatically for men, while women had more moderate, even responses. And in panel C, we get a frequency plot. Most women had small to moderate delays, whereas some men had enormous delays, pushing that curve far to the right. It's like men's attention systems were pulled harder and longer away from the task. Then came experiment 2, which was designed to improve on the first one. This time, the researchers shortened the number of trials, presented sexual images less frequently to prevent habituation, and used shorter exposure times, only 150 milliseconds, to stop people from even shifting their eyes. They also increased the sample size to over 100 participants, and now they focused only on individual nude images, males and females, without couples. So what happened? The findings here got even more interesting. Men were much more distracted by images of women than by images of men. The distraction effect was about 52 milliseconds for female images, compared to 25 milliseconds for male ones. Women, however, showed a completely different pattern. They were distracted by both male and female images about equally, around 26 to 36 milliseconds. This supports the idea that men's responses are category-specific. They respond more to their preferred sex, while women's responses are category non-specific. That means the images, regardless of gender, pulled women's attention in similar ways. So what does this mean on a broader level? First, these results support what many other studies using eye tracking and brain scans have found, that heterosexual men show strong, specific attention and physiological responses to images of women, while heterosexual women don't show as much difference between male and female stimuli. Second, this suggests that early, automatic attention processes, not just conscious decisions, are shaped by gender and sexual orientation. It's not about what you choose to look at. It's about what your brain latches onto before you even know it's happening.